Chances are, if you've tuned into this video, you're interested in finding out where you can camp for free down in southern Illinois. Yes, there is actually a campground down here in southern Illinois, part of the National Park System, administered by the USDA of all things, that you can camp or boondock, depending on the type of accommodations you have, for free. Yep, for free. No park pass is needed either. If this sounds right up your alley, stick around. I'm going to share with you the accommodations so you can see exactly what you get should you choose to stay here, and you'll find out exactly why I think this is one of the best places where you can camp for free down in southern Illinois. If you're looking to camp or boondock for free, where you're going to want to go is the Tower Rock Recreation Area in the Shawnee National Forest. Now, Tower Rock Campground is located right on the shores of the Ohio River, which means no matter which campsite you pick, you're going to have views, awesome views of the river. Something I ought to mention is that here at Tower Rock Campground, there are only 4 approved campsites. Yep, 4 campsites, and as you can see from the sign here, they don't want you just pulling up anywhere and camping. They only want you camping in the designated areas, which means you are taking a gamble, a risk, coming up here and finding that all 4 sites are full. Tower Rock Campground is a rustic style campground, which means there is no running water, no electricity. So again, you're going to be boondocking here or tenting it. You want to make sure you have appropriate facilities with you, appropriate supplies, water, etc. For those of you who don't have a self-contained unit, you are in luck. There is a restroom, a pit toilet of some sorts. As you drive in, this will be the first campsite you'll come to. As you can see, it has a picnic table and a fire ring with a grate, a cooking grate over the top, and a gravel area for you to park. It's rather long. I suspect if you were to pull in here, your max length would be maybe 35 feet. 40 feet would probably be pushing it. I walked it out, stepped it out with my feet. I do have rather big feet, and I took bigger steps than usual, and I came up with 40 steps from here to the about the end of the gravel. Campsites 2 and 3 are across from each other. The one being right along the banks of the river, where there's a path that goes back there that allows you to walk down to the river. And then of course you have your picnic table and your fire ring. This campsite over here does not have a gravel pad, so I'd recommend if you're going to camp here that maybe you want to use a tent, or if you have like a travel trailer, but definitely nothing real heavy, because underneath all those leaves is just mud, hard packed mud, and it's possible that during a rainstorm that could get rather dicey if you've got a heavier rig. And then this campsite over here does have a gravel pad along with your picnic table and fire ring, but the gravel pad itself isn't very big, and so this would be more ideal for a small travel trailer or camper, a pop-up, something like that. The 4th and final campsite is the one that we're parked in. Just like the others, it has a fire ring and picnic table. And like the first campsite and the second campsite, it has a nice gravel area to park. To give you a little perspective, our 5th wheel is a 25-footer. And as you can see here from this picture with the rig, with our truck, which is a full-size 3/4-ton pickup truck, we have plenty of room to park here. Based on the marker that's posted right by our campsite, I suspect at one time there were more campsites available for camping here. However, for whatever reason, they've limited it down to 4, which means you are taking a gamble, a risk, as I had mentioned earlier. And so you're going to want to make sure you have a backup plan, a second best where you're going to camp for the night if when you get here, it's full. Now, when I researched this area and looked for places to camp, I found out that there are a number of other campgrounds associated with the national park system within probably half hour to an hour of this place. Also, there's a couple of state parks that are close by within half hour of driving distance as well. So when you arrive, you're going to want to make sure you're arriving during daylight hours. And then if the campground's full, well, then you're going to have to go with your plan B. This is the path that leads from our campsite down to the river. As you can see, it is really just a short walk down to the riverbanks themselves. And what's cool is you get this awesome view. If you look out, you can see an island out there. Just a beautiful location to be camping, boondocking for free. Not far from the campground is a boat launch. I'm going to warn you though, the grade going down to the water is rather steep, making it a bit hairy to maneuver a boat down to the river. Warning, you're probably going to want a four-wheel drive vehicle when you're launching your boat or your recreational watercraft. Just off the boat launch is an area for you to pull in, turn your vehicle around so you can back in and park. From the looks of it though, it looks like it's not paved and probably gets rather muddy when it rains. And then over here is the view going up the road from the boat launch. As I said, it is rather steep, making it pretty hairy to get your boat down here. The other nice thing about camping at Tower Rock is all the hiking you can do. This particular trail is the Ohio River Overlook, and it's 0.15 miles long to get up to the overlook. Should you decide to stay at Tower Rock Campground, the closest area for services is Elizabethtown. Here you can see there's a gas station and they advertise groceries inside. Well, that basically concludes the tour, the grand tour of the place. As far as amenities go, additional amenities, Wi-Fi, obviously there's none here because, like I said, there's no electricity, no water, no dump station. Forgot to mention that. There's no dump station here. The other thing is, as far as cell signal goes, cell service, we have our cell service through a small outfit from Wisconsin, and we're getting anywhere from like 2 to 3 bars depending on where you're standing. Plus we have a booster, and when you use the booster, then you get almost full bars for signal strength. As far as speed goes, well, I'm on LTE, but it's taken a little while to load things like YouTube, Facebook, etc. So any heavy intended use of the internet, well, you're really not going to get that here. Now that you got the lowdown on the campground, the amenities, the area around it, you're probably wondering what makes Tower Rock the best place to camp for free in southern Illinois. Well, look around me. You're sitting in the heart of nature should you camp here, and you've got these awesome views overlooking the Ohio River. How can you beat that? Not to mention at night it is completely dark. There's no light pollution up here whatsoever. So if you're a stargazer, this is the perfect place to be. Also, peace, quiet, serenity. You can sit and listen to the cicadas well into October. It's almost the end of October, and here we are. We've got cicadas buzzing in the background. Besides, would you trade this to camp overnight in a Walmart parking lot? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Well, I suppose if I'm going to report on the pit toilet, I better scope it out for myself. Oh, note to self, if you're in a self-contained unit, I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't use the pit toilet. And while if you're in a tent or a not self-contained unit, all I can say is this: don't look down.